8 years after the fall of Troy, King Odysseus of Ithaca remains missing, leaving his kingdom in a state of political turmoil. Ithacan nobles, led by the ambitious Antinous, compete to marry Queen Penelope to seize the throne, ignoring Prince Telemachus's protests. Telemachus bonds with his father's loyal allies, Mentor and Eumaeus, who recount the legendary start of the Trojan War. It is revealed that Antinous rigged the lottery meant to draft soldiers for the war, sparing himself while others faced death. Penelope weaves a burial shroud, promising to choose a husband once it's finished, but she secretly stalls, hoping Odysseus is alive. Telemachus defies his mother's orders and sets sail for Sparta with Mentor to uncover the truth about his father's fate. Odysseus is alive, trapped on the island of Ogygia, held captive by the beautiful nymph Calypso, who fell in love with him. Calypso feeds Odysseus magical lotus flowers to soothe his war trauma and slowly erase his memories of Ithaca and his family. Flashback: following the fall of Troy, Odysseus splits from Agamemnon's fleet, seeking his own path home to avoid the king's toxic ambition. Odysseus's fleet discovers a massive cave, which turns out to be the lair of Polyphemus, a giant cyclops and son of Poseidon. Odysseus maneuvers to free his captured men, eventually orchestrating a plan to blind the giant while it sleeps. As they escape, Odysseus's arrogance leads him to taunt the blinded giant, drawing Polyphemus's wrath upon his entire crew. Polyphemus prays to his father, Poseidon, to curse Odysseus, sealing the crew's fate to face the god's unbridled oceanic fury. The fleet is ravaged by Poseidon's storms, eventually leading them to the island of the Laestrygonians, giant cannibals who decimate the crew. Dejected and mourning the loss of hundreds, Odysseus' surviving crew loses faith in his leadership and separates. Eurylochus and a group of men stumble upon the island of Circe, a witch who initially welcomes them with food. Odysseus discovers Circe has transformed his men into pigs. He confronts her, but she eventually agrees to reverse the curse. Circe warns Odysseus to journey into the underworld, Hades, to consult the spirits for a safe route back to Ithaca. In Hades, Odysseus meets the spirits of his fallen comrades, who warn him of Antinous' treachery back home. Odysseus meets Agamemnon's spirit, learning that the king was betrayed and murdered by his own vengeful wife. Agamemnon warns Odysseus not to reveal his identity upon his return, as his homecoming will be a target for usurpers. Back on Ogygia, Calypso promises to show Odysseus his family's fate, but continues to withhold the full truth to keep him. In Ithaca, Antinous presses Penelope to marry him, unaware that Telemachus is already deep in Spartan territory. Telemachus arrives in Sparta, meeting King Menelaus and Helen, whose faces are scarred by the trauma of the Trojan War. Menelaus recounts the Trojan horse tactic, revealing how Odysseus's brilliance ended the stalemate and ensured the Greeks' victory. Menelaus advises Telemachus to stop defining himself by his father's name and start building his own legacy as a leader. Back in his memories, Odysseus recalls sailing past the Sirens, tying himself to the mast to endure their maddening, tragic songs. The fleet then faces a massive whirlpool. Eurylochus ignores Odysseus's warnings, leading them dangerously close to the monster Charybdis. Charybdis devours the remaining ships. Eurylochus blames Odysseus for the tragedy, unaware of the underworld's grim prophecy. The survivors dock on Trinaia, the island of the sun god, where they are forbidden from harming Aelios' sacred cattle. Stuck by contrary winds, the hungry crew eventually slaughters the cattle, inciting divine wrath from Zeus and the gods. A final, cataclysmic storm wrecks the last of the ships, drowning every remaining member of Odysseus' loyal crew. Odysseus is the sole survivor, washed ashore on Ogygia, where Calypso finds him and begins her 7-year obsession. Calypso finally gives Odysseus a token to restore his memories, breaking her own spell and forcing him to face his past. Odysseus rejects her plea to stay, setting off on a makeshift raft, ready to accept whatever punishment Zeus deems fit. Athena guides Odysseus through the final leg of his journey, washing him ashore in his home territory of Ithaca. Odysseus reunites with Eumaeus, posing as a beggar named Sinon to gather intelligence on the conspirators. Eumaeus warns that Telemachus is in danger of being assassinated on his way home, and Antinous is forcing Penelope's hand. Telemachus is ambushed by conspirators, but Odysseus intervenes, killing the assassins and saving his son in the chaos. Odysseus reveals his disguise to Telemachus, claiming he is acting under the real Odysseus's orders to scout the situation. Telemachus returns home and fails to find his father, leading Penelope to demand an immediate end to the marriage games. Odysseus enters the palace as a beggar, witnessing the loyal dog Argos dying, which reveals his identity to Telemachus. Penelope's loyal servant washes the beggar's feet, recognizing an old scar that confirms her master has returned at last. Odysseus expresses deep regret for the Trojan War, acknowledging the blood spilled for Agamemnon's selfish ambitions. Penelope initiates the final challenge, a trial where suitors must string Odysseus's bow and shoot through a narrow target. None of the suitors can even bend the heavy bow, mocking the beggar when he humbly asks for a turn. Odysseus effortlessly strings the bow. Penelope realizes the beggar is her husband and watches as he turns the weapon on the suitors. A brutal, bloody battle erupts as Odysseus and Telemachus systematically eliminate the traitorous nobleman one by one. Odysseus hunts down Antinous, fulfilling the promise of vengeance for the suffering he inflicted upon his family and household. The remaining suitors beg for mercy, but the king is unmoved, reclaiming his throne through violence and blood. Odysseus chooses to abdicate his throne to Telemachus, deciding to sail westward to honor his fallen soldiers. Penelope joins him, confident that despite all the tragedy, the legacy of their house will rise again. And that is the Odyssey. If you loved this epic myth recap, smash that like button and subscribe. We have plenty more thrilling movie breakdowns coming your way. Stay tuned to the channel for more. This film serves as a reminder that the journey home is often more dangerous than the war itself. From the ashes of Troy to the throne of Ithaca, Odysseus's journey is truly legendary. The characters in the Odyssey are just like us, finding strength